Today we celebrate Dr. Emily Knox, a professor in the School of Information Sciences. Dr. Knox is a passionate advocate for intellectual freedom and the right to read. Her work has addressed censorship and the role of libraries long before these issues became national headlines. As chair of the National Coalition Against Censorship, she's led conversations at events, public lectures, and even testified before the U.S. Senate on book bans.
My name is Emily Knox, a professor in the School of Information Sciences, and I am an Illinois professional.
Her dedication to engaging diverse audiences continues to inspire. Join us as we talk with Dr. Emily Knox about her journey and commitment to public engagement.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. So can you explain what your job is and how long you've worked here at the University of Illinois?
So I'm a professor in the School of Information Sciences, and I've been here since 2012.
Nice. So if you're thinking back, why did you originally choose to come to the university?
Oh, well, to be very honest, this was the only job I got after getting my doctoral degree. And I actually got my master's here in 2003, so I knew Champaign-Urbana pretty well. So I was excited to come back and work in the iSchool.
Nice. And how do you think your job relates to the overall mission of the university?
So I see our mission as a land-grant university to really be about giving back. We're supported by the public, and I study what goes on in public schools and public libraries, so I see that link that way.
Yeah.
And we have a very service-oriented mission at the iSchool, and I see that as being linked to the land-grant mission of the university.
Yeah, that's great. Heavily involved in the community. You go to a lot of different school boards and public meetings, right?
So I either go to them or watch them online,
Yeah.
which you can do a lot more since COVID. And so I do see what is happening on the ground. I most recently went to a public library board meeting in Metropolis, Illinois. So that was great to go to their Carnegie Library and see everybody come out to either be in support of or against what was happening at the library, but to be at the library and to see the community really involved.
So will you explain to the viewers kind of what the mission of your work is? What drives you?
So I have always been interested in books. I mean, that's not actually what librarians, although people think that all librarians do is like guard books. We actually are much more interested in information, organization, access. But my mother was a school librarian, and we always observed Banned Books Week. And one of my favorite authors was Judy Blume, and her books were always on the list. And I just wanted to know why. Why were people trying to ban these books that I loved to read? As I went through my various degrees, I just wanted to study that in particular.
Yeah.
Because I think reading is so important. Reading is fundamental to really becoming, a good citizen of both the state, the nation, and the world. And my work, I'm trying to understand how people understand the practice of reading. What does it mean to read a book?
So what do you think, you personally, what do you think are some of the most interesting or unique aspects of your job?
Oh, wow. So I'd say the best thing about working where I work is my colleagues. We are from many different disciplines and fields, and we all come together to talk about the power of information. That's our tagline. And that to me is really the best. Also, the students. I'm mostly teaching master's students, but I've also taught undergrads here. And there's nothing like when you see a spark in a student, right? Like you've said something and you might have said it offhandedly, but they come up later and they're like, Dr. Knox, I'm so excited to hear about thus and so.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, I have some books for you, and that's really one of the best parts of the job. You never know when it will happen. I actually had it happen today, talking to a student during office hours, and that's one of the best parts of the job.
That has to be so rewarding.
Yes.
I can't even imagine. That's great. That's great. So that actually leads me right into my next question. How do you collaborate with students, staff, and other faculty to make an impact on campus and beyond?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I am a believer in having great staff. The staff is what makes the university run. I've always felt this way. There's nothing like having really good administrative support. We have great facilities here at the university. So to me, that is the foundation for doing the work that we do, is having good staff. I sometimes write things with my colleagues, and that's one of the major ways, is like doing research with them. With students, sometimes they're involved in research, but also what happens is that students push you to think in different ways about your work. So when I hear something in class, actually, my students say this all the time. I'm like, oh, I need to write a paper about that. I need to write a paper about that,
Yeah.
So to me, that's really where the collaboration comes here at the university.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. How do you see public engagement shaping the way we discuss and address complex topics like intellectual freedom?
Oh, gosh. So let me start easy and then go hard. So public engagement, I really try to think about different types of publics. So when I think about it, I'm like, am I talking about the kids at this particular school, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. When it comes to intellectual freedom, honestly, the main thing I'm thinking about now is misinformation and disinformation. To me, this is a wicked problem that I think the university should address. And so we can bring all of our different resources from all of our different colleges, thinking about design to overcome misinformation and disinformation. People over in engineering, thinking about algorithms. Actually, we do that work too, thinking about AI for society. Also, how do we develop critical cultural literacy with our students, and how do we push that outwards to the people of Illinois and the nation? So really calling on all of the different aspects of the university to work through this really difficult issue that has worsened over time.
Yes. So you've been described as the most active chair in the National Coalition Against Censorship. What motivates you to stay so actively involved and visible in this work?
Oh, gosh. So I'm the chair of the board for the National Coalition Against Censorship. I've been on that board for, I think, 8 or 10 years. I should say that Judy Bloom was also a member of the board, and I just got to meet her at our 50th anniversary gala, and so that was very exciting. I just have to say that.
That's awesome.
So I actually really like being on boards. I was also the former president of the Freedom to Read Foundation, which is the legal arm of the American Library Association. To me, this is how you do the strategic work of helping people tackle issues of censorship and intellectual freedom.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily on the ground. Like, that's not really what my work involves, but making sure that, for example, at the National Coalition Against Censorship, we have a censorship against art program. We're the only program like that in the country. And to me, making sure that the staff at NCAC has what they need to make that program grow, that's what I can do as part of the board. Yeah. And that's what I like to do. I like to see big picture things and help people who have much more expertise on the ground get what they need to do their work. And that's what I like to do.
Providing them with the tools and the resources. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, do you have a day that you felt most proud to be an Illinois professional?
Yes, that was the day I was a witness at the Senate Judiciary hearing on book bans. So I was there actually with our Secretary of State, Giannoulis, and also Cameron Caskey, who actually was part of our Students for Free Speech, part of NCAC, which is where we help students learn how to speak up for their right to freedom of expression. And I was just very proud to be there with our Secretary of State because we had passed this anti-book banning law, and we were explaining it to all these very high-powered senators at the Senate Judiciary hearing. And so that was when I was proudest to be like, I'm a professor at the University of Illinois. I'm here with our state representative. I'm here with one of the people that we helped be able to really use their voice to talk up for freedom of expression. That was a great day. And, there were lots of big names there. So Holly was there. Dick Durbin was who invited us to come and speak. Marsha Blackburn was there. There were, if I named all the senators, you would have heard of Cory Booker, all the names. And to be able to really talk about why freedom of expression matters in this very important forum was definitely the highlight of being a University of Illinois professional.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I did watch it, by the way.
Oh,
Loved
okay.
it. It was awesome. It was so good. So how did you learn about receiving the award for excellence in public engagement, and what does it mean to you?
Oh, gosh. So I'm fairly certain that our emerita professor, Linda Smith, put my name forward, and I received an email. I was very surprised. I don't necessarily think about my work as being public engagement because I'm mostly just talking to people, listening to people. I sometimes have people call me, and just want to talk about things. So I don't necessarily think about my work as public engagement, but it was truly an honor. I feel like I've said that so many times, but I absolutely mean it. And then with my other honorees, to see the work they were doing is really, and to be honored along with them really meant a lot to me. Yeah.
It really is amazing to see all the work coming out of the university. And I mean, it's great to, find out about it, but to actively share it and get it out there is the important part, and you do it so well. So,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Illinois Professional. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more stories from inspiring professionals and faculty across the campus, be sure to follow @IllinoisHR on Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Stay connected for the latest updates, insights, and stories that highlight the people powering the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.